Welcome back, guys, and I've been kind of slacking at picking up the camera lately. We had a great Thanksgiving. We went on that trip. I got that video up for you guys a couple days after we got back, and now we've been working on the FA in the background. That thing is going through getting tuned right now, so not too much has been going on. The black WX that you guys have seen before, and I kind of touched base as I was jumping around in the videos, we did get the motor out of that thing. We did get it diagnosed. That thing is right there, and it did have a bearing failure. So he decided that he is going to go ahead and sell the car as is. He has plans on moving here soon. I believe he said to Arizona, so he doesn't want to deal with it, so he's going to be selling it with the bad engine instead of going through and putting a new motor in it. So you guys won't be seeing anything really much more on that car, if anyone's wondering. This thing, like I said, we are tuning this, so you'll be seeing some updates, maybe even today about this, but my main focus for today is going to be onto our EVO X. So I did take a day and work on it without you guys, unfortunately. Sometimes it's nice to just have a day off, work on your own car. You know, even recording, it is a lot of work, and then always working on other cars. It was nice to take a break and actually work on it. One of the things I did mention when I first got it, you guys have seen all the lights on the dash, and it had a bad AYC pump is what I was told. When I had put the other wheels on it, I had noticed that the driver's side ABS sensor or wheel speed sensor was ripped in half, like it got shredded out. So I ordered another sensor for the car, went to go put it in, and of course the sensor was seized in the hub. So that went ahead and escalated, and I had to pull the entire hub off of it, pull the wheel bearing out, and me and Josh spent a couple hours getting that sensor out of there. Well, we got the new sensor in it, and the reason why I did that is because I just wanted to make sure we weren't hitting some weird fail-safe in the car as far as, you know, if it's trying to hit launch control because it's not acknowledging speed for something weird thing, even though it's showing speed on the speedometer. Ronnie said that it wasn't the problem because, for those of you just tuning in now, we've been having issues with the EVO X since we got it off the dyno. On the dyno, car made 491 on the dyno dynamics, which translates over to about 580 on a dyno jet. With the correction factor on 27 pounds, it's a 6466 on a twin scroll ETS turbo kit. The car does have a forged piston rod motor, head studs, and we just did GSE S3 cams in the head and valve train. So weird how it worked on the dyno, and then the moment we pulled it off, the car, as soon as you get on it, it would break up really bad. Like it was hitting launch control or anti-legs, and it do it at about 55 or 6 grand. Now, it didn't do it as bad then, and then it's been getting worse every time I try to drive the car and diagnose it. Ronnie's been awesome going back and forth with me. We have been kind of doing an e-tuning on the car, trying to make adjustments to see if we could figure out what's going on, but it's definitely something mechanical. It's not tune related, guys, so we need to figure out what's going on with that car. And to start out, I had a 2015 EVO X before that had an engine failure, and I bought a new motor. So I have the coil packs from it. These have 30,000 miles on them, and I know they work. And we have a brand new set of NGK spark plugs. So we're gonna start with the basics here. We're gonna put plugs, coil packs in it. I already fixed that sensor, so all the codes are gone. The car does not have a bad AYC pump either, which is really nice. It doesn't have any all-wheel drive codes anymore. So that was really nice to get rid of all those. So we're gonna start with the basics. Like I said, we're gonna put plugs, coil packs on it, see if that changes anything. Because sometimes what will happen is, let's say if a coil pack or a plug's bad, it'll make it look like it's lean because it's not igniting the fuel. And so even on the wideband that's in the car, it's going lean right there. So that could be something that's going on. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's fuel related. So I'm going to start with this, and then from there we got a fuel pressure tester. So went over to Riley's, just rented a fuel pressure tester kit, got a bunch of fuel lines. I'm gonna try to run this thing into the car so I can see what's going on at that 5,000 RPM range that it's breaking up. So let's go ahead, get this thing fired up and get it moved in the driveway. See if we can get this thing fixed today or find out what's going on. One last thing I didn't tell you guys, I did go ahead and order a new mass airflow sensor for the car because it is throwing a check engine light for it. Previously, we thought it was kind of weird that they had the mass airflow sensor turned off, obviously because there's something wrong with it. I did test another mass airflow sensor that did not fix what's going on with the car, by the way. So I have another one coming in to get rid of that stupid check engine light for it. And I did order a Torque Solution fuel rail, so big thank you to those guys. We got a fuel rail, air motive regulator coming as well. And once I do the fuel pressure test, I'll be able to know, you know, maybe we got a bad pump right out of the box or something's going on. So let's get this thing in here. Enough talking, let's get to work. First off, these things are obviously a lot easier to do coil packs and plugs on because they're right on the top of the engine here, which is real nice. Normally you'd have a cover over this thing, but with having this catch can assembly, the cover no longer fits, so we don't have that. But we're gonna go ahead and get these things out of here, get them all unplugged, and that's gonna be probably pretty difficult to do with holding the camera, but get these things all unplugged and get these things out of here, get the new plugs in. I'm not going to gap anything down yet. I'm just going to put them in and see what happens, see how the car reacts, and then we'll kind of go from there. If it's still breaking up the same way, I highly doubt that it is a plug gap issue. We're not running a crazy amount of boost. I mean, 27 pounds on this thing. So we do have the laser Iridium plugs, which are pretty dang expensive if you buy them at your local O'Reilly's place, because they want like $23 a plug, so pretty crazy. You get them online, seems like they're only about 44 bucks for a set online, so definitely worth it if you have an EVO 10 to order those plugs online than to get them in town. Like I said, we're gonna get these things out, see what happens. I don't think this is gonna fix the issue, but it's good maintenance, and let's just try this out. And easy as that, we got our plugs and coil pack switched out. Took me nothing but maybe 2 minutes on this thing. Super easy. You can obviously tell on the old plugs that they are lean. And for those of you that don't know how to read plugs, and I don't know if I'm going to get this thing to be able to focus on this because I don't have that many hands. But for those of you that don't know how to read plugs, you want them to be, see if this thing will focus, brown on the top. I hope I can get this thing too. So you can see there how it's white. Here, maybe put it out. So you normally want to have like a nice golden brown color on your plug there. And black obviously meaning rich, white meaning lean, and these obviously have some lean to them. So pretty certain we have a fuel issue. But just as a tip for you guys when starting out and diagnosing stuff, always start with steps. Don't just go change a bunch of things, because then you're never going to know what it was if you do end up fixing it. So just take it in steps, and that's probably the best way to explain it, I guess. But like we're doing coil packs and plugs right now, we're going to go drive it, see if that makes a difference, and from there we can move on to doing the fuel system. So let's go ahead and get this thing warmed up, go for this test drive, see if anything changes. I'm going to show you guys what it's doing as well, and we can kind of know from there. I don't think anything's going to change, but I guess you got to be hopeful, and that's how you got to diagnose, is just one thing at a time. So let's go out and do this. Well, not even 2 minutes down the road, and I can tell you that the issue is still there. I was trying to drive this thing a little bit more and let it warm up, but there's no real point, to be honest with you guys. We just need to go back, put that fuel pressure tester on, and test what's going on, because this thing is definitely not running the way it should. Sorry, I'm trying to turn around here. Whew, sun's in my eyes, I can't see nothing. But I'll show you what it's doing. Obviously we still have a bunch of lights on. Try to put the camera down in there so you can see. But the second I tip into this thing, it's going to break up. I hit the horn. That's what it does though. It breaks up. It doesn't go anywhere. So I don't want to do it a whole bunch. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to head back, put this fuel pressure tester on, see if we can figure this dang issue out, guys. We're back, and now we're going to start doing this fuel pressure test. So we have our fuel pressure tester here. Obviously what you're doing is you're just putting this in line of your feed line on your car. So don't put it on your return, because that's after the regulator. This needs to go on the feed so we can see exactly what kind of fuel pressure we got. So we have pretty much like a T assembly here. This obviously screws onto the tester. These are your sides that are going to go between your fuel line. Now the problem with the EVO is that we have quick disconnects on the feed line, which is kind of what we ran into when we were on the dyno, and we did the same test before. So I did already think of that ahead of time. We got some quick disconnect fittings here, so that way I can put this hose on it. We got clamps and we got plenty of hose. Try to run this tester into the car so I can see what's going on, because obviously in the engine bay I'm not going to be able to see what's going on, and this thing needs to be driven to know that it's having that issue. So that's why I got that much hose. We can get this thing opened up, we can get that tester on. See if I can do this one-handed, maybe, possibly. Yep. So our feed line is going to be, if we're looking at the car right here, we're zooming in, right there is our feed line, so you can tell it's a quick disconnect, and then that's going to run down and over back there. So that's not going to be fun to get to. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this and get into it and get that tester on. Now I'll show you guys what it looks like once I got it on there. So I got this thing running again, and I did find something that was unhooked on the front. I'll show you guys when I get back what that was. But I did get this thing to idle really good now, and it's idling on its own. I don't got to hold the gas anymore. Sounds good. I got our fuel pressure tester right here. So I put this up for you guys. We are, I know this might not focus, it's at about 40, yeah, it's almost at 50 psi at idle here. I could be right, it's about 45. So we are gonna go for this test drive and see what the frick happens with the fuel pressure. I know you're probably really close to my face. I'm trying to hold this as I get in the car, but I'm excited to see what's going on. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Looks like I'm getting a phone call again. So let me go test that, see what happens, guys. So as I'm driving along here, and I hope you guys can hear me, because I know this thing's loud. I have my gauge right there, and I am noticing that it is dropping fuel pressure the moment I give it gas. So I'm trying to hold this for you guys. That was a fail. Camera died. Now, let's go back to explaining fuel pressure. For those of you that don't know, and some may not know, how this works. So I'm seeing 45 psi, and then when you get into boost on a turbo car, they're a 1-to-1 regulator. So meaning per each 1 pound of boost, it goes up in 1 psi increase. So what I'm seeing here right now is when it's going into boost, it's dropping pressure instead of raising pressure. So we have an issue somewhere, whether it be our brand new AEM pump, which I've never had a AEM pump fail before. DW, I've had their pumps fail before. This one is brand new, but I'm gonna start there. I've already pulled the fuel hanger assembly out and checked, and the line was fine on the pump. So I'm gonna start with the pump. I already have the regulator and rail on the way, so we can't really test that now because they're not gonna be here for a couple days. So let's start out with the pump, because obviously that's what supplies the fuel. I'm gonna start out there, make sure to go over everything thorough. It's gonna be hard to show you guys because, well, I don't have a GoPro for a head mount. So I'm just gonna get this fuel hanger ripped out, and as soon as I get out, I'm gonna show you what the assembly looks like and the torque solution adapter I have in there for the fuel pump hanger, because I had a Walbro 450 in this, as some of you know, on the dyno video, and then we switched over to an AM340 because we were overrunning our regulator at that point. Now that we have an upgraded regulator, I might put the 450 back in, but for now, since I have a brand new AEM here, I'm just gonna test that because it's plug and play. So let's get this hanger out, go through there, put the new pump in it, and fingers crossed, maybe it's just a bad pump. I mean, at this point, I would take that because we're kind of chasing something we don't know what it is. So we're just going step by step, but now I know we have a fuel pressure problem and we need to start with the pump. So let me get that out. Only a couple minutes later, because I've done this a freaking million times already. So we have our fuel hanger assembly here. There's our Torque Solutions piece that we have in there. That would be meant for a 450, but it does work on this little AEM 340 as well. So now I need to get this hanger apart, and when taking this thing apart, we're going to be looking at all of our connections. It looks like that clamp is still nice and tight. Hose is butted up there. Don't see any issues there. Same on the actual pump. It's nice and butted against the pump. Nothing's loose. Comes this nice flexible hose that's in here from Torque Solution. I don't see any issues, guys. So I guess, like I said, we're just gonna pull it out, change out this pump. Fingers crossed that it's just a bad pump. But once again, I don't think that's gonna be the issue, and we're just kind of testing through things right now until we can find out what's wrong. So let me get this thing apart, get this new pump thrown in there, and get this deal thrown back in the car, and let's see what happens. I got that new AEM fuel pump put in here, and a little tip for you guys. I know that this video has several tips in it, but when you're diagnosing cars, it definitely gets frustrating, and you can't let it get to you, because you make the most progress when you can be calm and assertive and, you know, look at everything and try to understand what's going on, what's going wrong. With that being said, I see something that probably should have been looked at before, and I noticed this thing was always kind of hard to put in the car because it has to have, you know, it springs down and up. But what ends up happening is this top of the hose that goes on the pump, when you spring this down, it was kinking it. So I did put the new fuel pump in there. It may have not been the issue, like I said, and I moved the pump down because you can adjust how high you have the pump. So I moved the pump down so this thing can push down a lot more. So we're gonna see what happens. Worst case, if that's it, I mean, that's awesome. We fixed the issue, but it's just one of those things when you can sit here and be calm about it and work on the car, you're gonna get much further than when you're frustrated. And I can speak like this because I've been frustrated before, and that's one of the reasons why you guys haven't seen me work on this EVO X, is because I've been frustrated with it. Yes, we haven't had time, but you can make time. And now finding that, you know, that's just one of those things. You know, I found a couple things on the car, going over it today. So let's get this thing back in the car. Fingers crossed that's all it was, but we won't know till we get this thing in there. Like I said, it's still weird that it worked on the dyno, so that's why I'm a bit leery of the pump, of what's going on. But at least we know we have a brand new pump in it, and we know it's set the right height now, and we shouldn't have any kinking issues. So let me get this thing thrown in, and let's just hope that everything works out. So cruise along, and right away, I can tell you, I know this road has a lot of sand on it, so I'm sorry. I can tell you that this thing is much happier. You can see it already, as soon as I press the gas, it's going up. Oh man, all this sand, so bad. But this thing is running a million times better right now. Like I said, I don't know whether it's going to be that pump or maybe it was squeezing down on the line up there. But worst case, I might just end up buying another pump to put on the shelf and leave this one in it, because it seems to be running a lot better. It did tip into it, and it did go into the RPMs. So yes, we still have all our lights on the dash. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's the first time she's ever gone. Woo! Alright guys, I'm gonna watch the air fuel gauge. We did add a bunch of fuel on this map, so I'm sure it's rich, but I can't be more freaking excited right now. Alright, check in with you guys in a moment. We're back now, and this thing is freaking running awesome. It is hitting a boost cut, which we've made so many changes to this map going back and forth that I'm not too surprised. So Ronnie's going to send me the original map, and I'm going to send him a log of what's going on, and we're going to check it out, see what's going on. Air fuels look great. Whole car is working the way it should be, and I am super happy that we have figured this issue out, and now the EVO is actually running, because it's been frustrating. Bought this car, haven't driven it literally at all, so definitely super happy that this thing is now working, and I can't wait to get the wife's reaction to this thing, because this thing is pretty quick, and by quick I mean it's pretty fast. Now I still need to get this windshield replaced. I was just looking at it, so we still need to get the windshield replaced, still need to get the new steering wheel put on this thing, and then the interior is ready to go. I would like to pick up some fender liners for it. As you heard of all the sand, it doesn't have front fender liners. Those things are gone, so would like to get those, and then this thing is pretty much ready for daily abuse. So yeah, super excited. I'm probably gonna go ahead, grab the laptop, go do a data log. I'll tip into it once for you guys, and then we're gonna probably end out this video today. It's been a very productive day. I figured out a lot of stuff with the FA car because it was having some idle issues. We got that all fixed today. We're starting to work on the tuning of that car. Plus we got the EVO fixed today. All around, good day. So we're out here in Mexico. Car is obviously hitting the boost cut, but I'll do a little first gear rip for you guys. Turn off our traction control, because, well, we don't need that in our way. There we go. All right, let's see what happens. Yeah, I'd say she gets down pretty good, but hit that boost cut. Unfortunately, this ain't pretty fast, so. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I will go ahead and end this now as soon as we get back to the house. And that's gonna wrap it up for this video for you guys today. Super excited that we were able to figure out the EVO's issues. Went ahead and tucked it away in the garage for tonight because I still have that fuel pressure tester hooked up. Got to take that thing off tomorrow now that we're all good to go. And I did send over the log to Ronnie for that thing doing a boost cut. Seems like it's hitting more boost now, so we're gonna have to address that, but super excited that it is now working again. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the